The people telling you to be quiet are not the ones that have your answer. So don't give them your voice. Don't give them the arguments. Don't get engaged with that. Don't waste your time or be diverted from your focus. When my oldest son was young, I used to love to act out different passages from the Bible with him. And this is the one that I'm going to talk about when I talk about being blind but focused. It was the story of Blind Bartimaeus. Now, this is what I love about Blind Bartimaeus. He is sitting on the side of the road. He is a beggar. He's got like legal grounds to be a beggar. But he hears something leaving Jericho. He's heard some rumors that Jesus has been in the city, and now he's hearing a crowd, and there's joy, and there's hope in their sound of their voice. There's something different about this crowd. It's because Jesus is in the midst of the crowd. And so what does he do? He begins to cry out. It says, okay, so I'm going to read it from Mark chapter 10, verse 46. We meet him. It says that he was the son of Timaeus sitting by the roadside. So we've got Jesus, we've got disciples, we got Bart, and then we got a big crowd. These are the different actors in this story. And it says in verse 47 and verse 48 that blind Bartimaeus cried out when he heard that Jesus was leaving the city. He cried out, Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me. And many rebuked him, telling him to be silent. But he cried out all the more, Son of David, have mercy on me. Now, I want to highlight a couple of things that maybe you know, maybe you didn't know. But when blind Bartimaeus said, Jesus, Son of David, he was actually saying, Jesus, the Messiah. He wasn't calling him good teacher. He wasn't calling him healer. He was saying, Messiah, have mercy on me. And he's yelling on the side of the road. And it says that many rebuked him, telling him to be silent. But he cried out all the more. See, when you have a revelation of who your focus is, you will not be silenced by the people around you. And so I used to play out like this with Addison, and he would be blind Bartimaeus, and I would be the crowd saying, shh, quiet, don't bother the master, quiet, quiet. And he would just yell even louder. I want you to know that there is something about understanding that you can be relentless in your focus and you can say, Jesus, you're the one. I'm not looking for the crowd to approve. I'm not looking for the crowd to be my source. I'm not even looking for your disciples to notice me. Jesus, you're the one I'm going to cry out to all the louder. I love that. See, the people telling you to be quiet are not the people with your answer. So you don't want to engage and argue with them. They are a distraction. It doesn't say that blind Bartimaeus, when they told him to be quiet, he didn't say, stop yelling at me. Don't you know I'm blind? Don't you know I want to get healed? No, he didn't even engage with them. The people telling you to be quiet are not the ones that have your answer. So don't give them your voice. Don't give them the arguments. Don't get engaged with that. Don't waste your time or be diverted from your focus. And it said Jesus stopped, and he said, call him. And they called the blind man, saying to him, take heart, get up. He is calling you. Imagine what that moment felt like. Everything was about to change. All of a sudden, this man who could not see knew that everything was going to shift and he was going to be able to see. But then this kind of random thing happens. He comes up to Jesus and Jesus says, what do you want? What do you want? Now, I've always thought it was a little confusing that Jesus would say to a blind person, what do you want me to do for you? But I think he was modeling something. See, Jesus will ask us questions that he already knows the answers to help us to focus on what is important. And blind Bartimaeus said, I want to recover my sight. See, when you and I get in the presence of Jesus, when we've cried out, Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on us, when we say we're not going to be troubled with the crowd, that's okay with me being a beggar. I'm not going to be troubled with the crowd, that's okay with me being blind. I'm going to keep pressing into Jesus. There comes a point when Jesus says, what is it that you want? And you can say to him, I want wisdom. I want recovering of sight of blind. I want my focus back. And he says, okay, be it unto you according to your faith. Your faith has made you whole. When we place our faith in Jesus, when we actually understand that he is worthy of our focus, then we recover our purpose, we recover our sight, we recover our direction, and we can leave behind the grave clothes and the beggar's shroud, and we can step into those robes of righteousness. I want you to know that this is the time for you to cry out to Jesus and make him your focus. Don't be denied until he asks you what it is that you want him to do for you, what area of life that he needs to touch. Do not draw back until you hear him speak directly to you.